Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am super excited to be doing this video. Okay, what's new? I'm always excited to be filming videos, but this one's special because I am doing a collaboration and I am talking about another Quint from Dior. If you guys have not been with me lately, I have been obsessing over these Dior Quints. Dior has released 13 Quints. I finally took the time and checked. I am currently on my third one. There is no stopping me now. I'm going for it. I'm going to end up picking up more without a doubt. I already have two on deck to purchase. I am ready for them, but I also have several other videos I need to film, so those are going to have to wait for now, but I need to get my hands on more of these. So today I'm going to be showing you guys this one. This one's called Tutu. It is number 769. This is the one that actually caught my eye first, but it wasn't available when Selfridges first released the Quints. I think this was the only one that was never, or at least I never got to see available through that website. So when it came here to the States, I had to get it. Now, another person that was really excited for this specific Quint is Lexi, and that is actually the reason why this video is special. This is a collaboration with Lexi Jong. If you guys do not follow her, I will have her information linked in my description box below. You need to check her out. For one, clearly we have very similar taste in makeup. She does a lot of reviews on luxury makeup. I actually think all of her reviews are on luxury beauty. She is very detailed. She knows what she's talking about, and I just love to watch her. Her and I have been following each other not for that long, honestly, but I feel like we've just gotten really comfortable with one another and just kind of share information here and there. And for many reasons, I enjoy her channel. I also really enjoy following her on Instagram. She's always sharing information on new products, and I feel like with her, it's just really talking about makeup, and that's what I love. It's not about competition. We're just here for the love of makeup, for the love of luxury makeup. She's just a really sweet woman, and like I said, she knows what she's talking about. She knows her products, and while she reviews a product, she always shows how she uses them. Or even if it's a first impression, she'll do like a little tutorial, but she also does a lot of suggestions as to how else you can use the product, like different ways that I sometimes wouldn't even think of. And a lot of times she does multiple looks with a palette or whatever it is that she is reviewing. So again, that comes with her being just very informative and very nice to watch. Now, although her and I do have very similar taste in makeup, our style is just a little bit different. She is more fair than I am. So that's why I thought it would be a good idea for us to collaborate so you guys can really see what this little palette can do. Because although there are only 5 eyeshadows in here, and I say only as if it sounds like a complaint, I think I just have so many large palettes that I forget how much I appreciate and how much can actually be done with a palette that only has 5 shades in it. So that's something that I think her and I really wanted to showcase in our collaboration. And because of that, we decided to kind of split it up a little bit, where she's going to be doing a day look and I'll be doing this look that I'm wearing right now, which is how I would use this palette for a night look. Of course, there are many different ways to use this palette, so I'm looking forward to keep playing around with it. And if you guys are new to my channel, hello and welcome. I am Suzana, and I just love talking about makeup. That is all we do here. If you guys ever have any questions on products, you can always ask me in the comments down below or reach out to me through Instagram. I'll have my handle here, and we can talk about products, whether they're new releases, comparisons on something I've already reviewed, whatever it may be. As long as it's about makeup, the beauty community, I am always down for a conversation with you guys. So please subscribe. So as far as this specific palette, this is going to be first impressions on these actual shades, and that's actually the case for both Lexi and I. We've both already reviewed other Quints from Dior, so we already have experience with this new formula Dior has now come out with. I am very happy with these Quints. I did say in my last video where I did a review on one of these that these shadows in here are nothing super special, super wow, but I hope that that didn't come out as I don't think it's worth it, because these eyeshadows are beautiful. I just don't really know what your expectations are, so I kind of try to paint a picture for you guys to really understand how these eyeshadows perform and what I think about them. So overall, just to be clear, not that anybody questioned me, but when I was editing, I wasn't too sure how you all were going to interpret that, so I just want to make it clear that I have been really enjoying this formula, and I knew I was going to like this palette as well. I know I was going to love it, okay? Spoiler alert, I love this palette. These eyeshadows in here are just so up my alley. I'm not super into cool tone eyeshadows. In my opinion, this definitely does lean a little bit more cool tone, but the way that these performed on my eyes, beautiful. And the color story, I just feel like they did a really good job with the 5 shadows that they selected for this palette. I think they made it easy, and that's actually speaking across the board for all of these Quints, for anybody to go in and create a look, create different looks, just mix and match, mix colors. Really, there are so many different looks that you can create. Obviously, just using a palette like this, know that your look is going to be a little bit more on the cool tone, but not so bad where it's like ashy. I think that's my biggest fear with cool tone palettes, is that sometimes I feel like they look a little bit ashy on me, and with this I just did not find that to be the case at all. But these are a little bit deeper shades, so it could be because of that as well. Anyway, the formula is great. I really like these. I'm very happy with this palette. Like I said, today was my first impressions and I am impressed. Or I think I threw away the box already, but Dior does have it split out so that you can create a softer look using these top shades up here, and then a bolder, darker, more smoky look using the 3 bottom shades here. I ended up using all of them in today's look. Now, this middle shade here is the focal shade of the palette. So all of these other shades were created to work specifically with this one. So just know, if you're somebody that likes to do a really quick look, like it's kind of made easy for you to just pick this middle shade and then work in one of these other 4 shades. Of course, you can obviously do whatever you want and lay them, use them, apply them however you want to do that. That is obviously what I ended up doing with my own look today, but just letting you know, because I find it really good and helpful when a brand facilitates the way a product can be used, so that's why I wanted to mention that. Now, here we get a really beautiful sparkly shade. It's kind of glittery. I use these mostly as toppers. This one here is a satin shade. We've got this one that's more of a pearl, like a metallic finish actually, and then these 2 here are our mattes. And here we have these swatches. So I went ahead and started off with the middle shade. And again, this is a matte. We got the satin shade. This one here is a topper. I did layer this one twice to hopefully make it a little bit more visible. And then this is a metallic shade, and this is the other matte shade. And I'll just go ahead and show you guys side by side so you can see. Alright, so I will be giving you guys a little bit more information on this palette as I'm applying it, and then I will give you my final thoughts at the end, which I think I already did. I already told you guys I loved it, so that's pretty much my final thoughts, but you do want to stay to the end just to see if I have anything else to say about the palette, just things that I did come across as, again, I was applying this for the first time. So let's go ahead and get into the tutorial where I created my night look using Tutu. So I was actually going to just go straight into the intro, but then I thought it would probably be best to have some knowledge on this specific palette since I have not used it yet. This is the first time we'll be using this, and I'll tell you guys, it was so difficult to not even touch these eyeshadows because they look glorious. So it comes with like this little plastic cover, and then you do get 2 little applicator tools. One of them is more like a brush, the other one's like this little spongy type of applicator. I don't know what that is called. So I'll take out the little plastic, and here is the palette and all of its glory, brand new, has not been touched yet until now. So let me just do some quick little swatches for myself here just so that I can see how these look. Oh my gosh, okay. I just don't really know where to start, but all right, at least I have somewhat of an idea. I'm sure at this point I already showed you guys swatches, but just in case, if you want to see again, oh, these look so beautiful. Okay, I think I know what I'm going to be doing here. So let me take this off. Now, if this is your first time here, I have to mention that I do have really oily eyelids. They get oily throughout the day, so if I don't prime them with some actual eye primer, it's usually a mess with most eyeshadows. So real quickly, I'm going to apply some eye primer, and I'll be using my NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. And this one's the clear one. And since that eye primer does leave a little bit of tackiness, I'm just gonna grab the brush that I used to apply some setting powder. to set this primer. Alright guys, so let's get into this. I am genuinely excited for this palette. This is the first one that caught my eye. It is the first one I just wanted to get my hands on, and I had to wait a little longer for that to happen. So that's why I'm a little bit extra right now. So I'm going to start off with this middle shade, and I'm using my Wayne Goss number 3 brush. So just pick some up with the tip of the brush here. And I'm going to go straight into the crease here. I like to start in the outer portion, start doing some blending, and then slowly start going in. And this shade actually looks a little bit deeper than I thought it would initially. I'm going to go in for a little bit more. I'm actually going to apply some on the outer portion of the lid as well. Now once I get in here, I'm going to start doing that windshield wiping motion. I have quite a bit of wrinkles in here, so I always have to make sure I extend my eyebrow all the way up and kind of look down to blend this a lot more seamlessly. So that color actually looks a lot more purple on my lids than it looks here in the pan. So now with a Smith 232, I'm going to pick up this satin shade. And again, just with the top portion of the brush. And I'm going to go right above this first shade we just applied to blend out these edges, and I need more color up here. I just don't want it to be too dark. So I'm gonna grab a little bit more. I do want to deepen out this portion here. And again, this is the satin shade that I'm still using. Just because I am doing the night look, so I do want this to be a little bit more smoky. Now using my Sonia G Worker 1 brush, I'm gonna pick up this pearly lavender shade. I mean, this is the most beautiful shade in this palette. And this is going to go all over the lid. Oh, that is so beautiful. Now it looks like this can apply pretty sheer if you use a fluffier brush or just one that's not too dense. This is very well packed, but I do want this color to really pop, so I'm actually going to layer this up a little bit more. I mean, but even like this is a beautiful, beautiful shade. But let me pick up a little bit more and just layer this. I'm sure if you like to use wet eyeshadows, this will look really beautiful as well. I just don't like to wet mine. Oh, but that is a gorgeous, gorgeous shade. Love that. I'm going back with the first brush I used, which is the Wayne number 3, and then picking up this matte middle shade again, just very little, because I do want to blend these edges here. So again, like we did earlier, I'm going to start in the outer corner of both the crease and the lid. And then whatever's left on the brush, slowly I'm going to start bringing it in. Now using the darker matte shade, I'm going to emphasize this outer corner. So I'm doing like that V-shaped motion. where I kind of apply it against my eyelashes and then come back to the end of the eye and then carry it up into the crease. And just go in about 1/4 of the eye. And I'll just continue doing this, going back and forth, same V motion, until it's all nicely blended. Which really with these eyeshadows, it doesn't take very long. These are very nicely pigmented. I had asked on my last video using one of these Quints, what was the difference between the formula of this one as opposed to the old formula from the Dior Quints, because I had not tried the old Quints from Dior. And I did have some people mention that the formula is way better, the eyeshadows perform better, and they're a lot more pigmented. And although I do find them to be quite pigmented, I also find these eyeshadows very forgiving in that sense that they give us the liberty to build up the intensity. So that's why I'm adding a little bit more here. So I do want this a little darker. And then back with the Wayne Goss brush, this is just to blend. I did not pick up any extra product here. With a clean brush, I'm going to buff these edges here on the sides. And then I do want to move the product out a little bit more as well. But that's the thing, like we don't have to pick up more product to do that a lot of the times. We can just go in and grab from what we've already placed and just drag it out just a little bit. I'm gonna do a little bit of layering on the bottom lash line. So I'm gonna start off with this middle shade and using the Sonia G flat definer brush. I'm just applying this all over the bottom lash line, bringing it down quite a bit to blow this out. To again try to achieve that smoky look, but without it being too intense there. So that's why little by little we'll start building it up with different tones. Same brush, I'm going into the satin shade. And we're gonna do about the same thing, but just higher up, closer to the lash line. I won't bring this down too much. So with the pencil brush, I'm gonna pick up this shade here, and I find that it's best to use a pencil brush that's also quite stiff because there's a lot of like little glitter particles in here. And so to get some of the pigment payoff, a denser brush is best. Oh, this one's actually really nice. And then just whatever is left, I'll use here on my brow bone. I don't like to pick up more product. And lastly, with this palette, we'll go back into this darker shade with a little definer brush. I typically like to use something like this, like a flat brush, but I've really been enjoying this one from Wayne Goss lately. It's the number 7, and we'll use this. I'm going to make sure to tap it off real good. There's quite a bit of pickup when you pick up these eyeshadows. I notice it mostly on these 3 here, so I keep cleaning it every time I pick some up, but just so you see right there. And I just like to point that out. It does not bother me, but I do want to make it a point, especially because if you already have the rest of your makeup done, you really want to make sure you're tapping off the excess from your brush so that you do not get any fallout. And with this shade, I'm just going to apply it right against my lash line, on my top and bottom lash line, to define this look a little bit more and define my eyes. Alright, and here's where we're at with just wearing the eyeshadows. I am really happy with how these eyeshadows performed. I do want to say though that I did have to go back and forth quite a bit with this dark shade to get it as intense as I wanted on the lash line. And I don't feel like it's, I mean, I'm happy with how dark it got, but I'm just saying I don't feel like it got all that dark. I would have expected more with the amount of product that I actually went in and applied. But again, it all depends on how we look at things. For me, it's a good thing because again, it gives us the liberty to go in and layer up, build up the intensity up until we get it to the point that we want it. Or we can use these eyeshadows a little bit more sheer. So it all depends on what we're looking for. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply some mascara, choose out a lipstick, and then we will be right back for my final thoughts. Alright guys, so before I scoot you back, here is the final look using this beautiful Tutu palette with my interpretation of how I would use this for a night out. I think it came out beautiful. And while I do think that this palette overall does lean more on the cool tone side, but I love, love, love it. So I have the tendency of trying to use all of the eyeshadows from a palette when I'm first showing it on my channel. Usually I do that. Actually, my last video where I showed the Rose Decadence palette from Pat McGrath Labs, there I only used a few shades, but I feel like with that palette it would be a little bit difficult to use all 6. Like I would have to be very, very creative. But for a palette like this and the way that these eyeshadows are set up, I love how this looks. This one here, you can use it as a topper and just apply it over this. I guess with whatever I picked up here, we can just go ahead and do it with my finger. Let's see, I want to be careful not to go overboard too much. Oh yeah, so that added a nice little extra sparkle. It brightened up the look a little bit. What's done on one side has to be done on the other. Need to be careful not to put this on my lashes. I applied a ton of mascara. At this point, if I apply any more, my eyelashes will start to get real clumpy. Ooh, that actually looks really pretty. This one has impressed me the most against the other two that I've already tried. I don't really know why. Maybe I just feel like it works a lot better with these tones in here. I don't know, but I'm finding that I actually like that one more because when I reviewed it on the other Quints, I was kind of complaining a little bit about it. Not so much complaining, I was just saying how I would have preferred a different formula. It could be the same tone, just like a different type of finish. But I actually enjoy this palette as a whole. Let me scoot you guys back a little bit real quick. Sorry, I'm not sure if I was a little too close there. This palette is just gorgeous. I knew I was going to love this. I'm so happy I ended up getting my hands on it. I'm so happy Lexus ended up getting her hands on it because I know she really wanted this palette as well. So I hope she enjoys it as much as I do. If you end up picking it up or if you already have it, I hope the same for you because it is gorgeous. Really, you cannot go wrong with any of these Quints. Any color store that appeals to you and you end up getting, I think you would really enjoy. Like, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just giving you my experience on products, and this is just a product that I would probably recommend to anybody because in my opinion it is very user-friendly, very easy to work with. This did end up having a lot more fallout than I had originally thought it did. Luckily, not so much on my face. So I guess more fallout, like when I was tapping off the brushes, there actually ended up being a lot of eyeshadow here on my filming area, all over the place while I was tapping off the excess. So make sure that you tap off your brushes when you're using this because like I said, there is a lot of kick up. There will be a lot of fallout if you don't do that. So I just strongly recommend that. But yeah, this is a beautiful palette. I just don't even know what else to say, you guys. This is just really pretty. I'm very happy with it and I'm very happy with my look as well. Next time I use this, I'll for sure probably keep it a little bit more simple. I do like this. I would totally wear this out. I mean, this isn't like a dramatic look or anything. I am very comfortable with it. But just like on a regular day, if I want to pull out this palette, I would just use a few shades at a time. But yeah, I love it. I think you guys get the point. It is beautiful. Before I let you guys go, I do want to give you a little reminder. Go check out Alexis. See the day look that she ended up creating using this Tutu palette. I'm quite excited. I cannot wait to head over there and watch her video myself. So again, I will have her information linked down below. Please check her out. Let her know I sent you over there. Subscribe to her channel as well. I am sure you guys are going to adore her as much as I do. Alright guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the look I created. If you did, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. It really does help me out a lot. And while you're there, if you have not yet, do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Until next time.